Ariel Helwani in Atlanta for UFC 201 alongside Uncle Creepy himself, Ian McCall, who meets Justin Scoggins this Saturday on pay-per-view. Now, here's the big question right off the top. There's a lot to talk to you about, but how is life living at home with mom?
Oh, I love them with my parents. Sure, I need to buy a house and move out very soon, which I'm in the process of doing. But I don't really want to go. Like, I love living with my parents, and I need help with my kid. I've raised my child on my own her whole life. Until recently, mom's back in the picture, and I'm happy for that. She needs that. And proud of her for doing the things she's done. But it's nice. I get to, whether it's a Monday or Tuesday or Saturday, I can go, hey, I got to go do this thing. Whether it's go eat or go hang out with my girlfriend or go get drunk or, whatever it is, I can literally do anything. But it's weird because my parents haven't been together for like 15 years.
Oh.
And my mom came down because it was me and my dad that were raising my kid. And you see my house; it's beautiful.
I've never actually been there in person, but on the Skype.
She's on Skype. And my mom one day comes down and she goes, "What? I'm moving here. I have to be with my granddaughter." So she moved into my daughter's room. So her and my daughter, share a bed, and then I'm in my room. My dad's got his room, and it's like, okay, my brother's been staying there a lot.
Family's back together.
Yeah, it's like I'm 12 again, except I have a kid and a career and facial hair.
Yeah.
So.
Wait, so your parents aren't together, but they live together?
Yes, they're best friends.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
What a situation.
They got divorced when I was like 18 or so, and then they both got remarried, both got divorced, and now they're just best friends. It's awesome because they've always loved each other, and adored each other because they spent the greatest years of their lives together. And to have us all come together again, and I'm literally trying to buy the house across the street or up the street. There's a few for sale. I live in Orange County, so it's really expensive. So shelling out $1 million for a house is a little hard, but I'll get it done hopefully this year.
January 31st, 2015. That's the last time you fought. It has been a while. Was there honestly a point, I know we sort of talked about this, but now can you tell me honestly, was there a point where you thought that was it for you? That was your last fight?
Oh, yeah. I even less than 6 months ago, probably less than 5 months ago, I was like, okay, it's done. I'm over.
Wow.
And my arm wasn't working. I have all the injuries in my arm. And, whether it's surgeries or breaks or infections or pinched nerves in my neck, it just wasn't working. And then I got an MRI because my arm gave out real bad one day, really bad, where it put me on my knees on the ground, like almost in tears.
Wow.
And I went to my surgeon, and it goes, okay, well, let's get another MRI. And I've had full stem cell done, and he goes, it came back, and you're fine. Structurally, you're good. He's like, it's just nerve damage, and he's like, stop being a pussy. Like, work through it. And he's a friend of mine, so he can say that. And he goes, you want to fight again? I said, yeah. He says, all right, this is gonna suck, but you can do it. So I did it, and I work so hard at keeping my body healthy, eating properly, and physical therapy, and massages, and I own the cryo place, and hyperbaric chambers that I own, like all this stuff that I do to feel better, that I would do whether I'm fighting or not. But now my arm is working, and then I got the call to fight, and my coach said, I want this fight.
Wow.
And I said, yes, sir. Let's go. Let's get to work.
In that line of thinking, you've been in this sport for a very long time, and you've had great successes. You've obviously had some failures as well. But when you see this day and age MMA, with the UFC being sold for $4 billion, did you ever say to yourself, you know what, I can't walk away now. I didn't get out of this sport what I put in. That sort of thinking.
Yeah, that's it's true. And I haven't monetarily capitalized on it. I mean, most of us don't.
Yeah.
And it's hard to. Not everyone's a star, and it's really hard to financially to do this. You get paid once. I've been paid like twice in the last 3 years, I think, by this company at least. So it's a struggle. The struggle is real, but I'm honored to be here again because, like I said, I thought this was never going to happen again.
Yeah.
So, if this is my last fight, if I break again and have to have surgery or whatever, I'm done. But it's nice to be in the company of such good fighters and people that I thoroughly enjoy being around, the sport that I I like to think I helped build a division. I helped build.
Yeah.
And usher in a nice young talent like Justin.
Well, he says a lot of things about you, that you're sort of the old guard and whatnot. Has he bothered you with any of his comments? I've seen you guys go back and forth on Twitter. Anything that really light a fire under you?
No, it's all in fun.
Okay.
We've been joking around all week, and it's all in fun. I am the old guard. He's the new kid, and I remember when I fought Charlie Valencia, I was the new kid, and he was the old guy, and he beat the crap out of me. And he taught me a lesson, and I was able to bounce back from that lesson, and I became world champion. I mean, sure, there was no money involved, and no one knew who I was, but I was the best in the world at that point. And Justin can come back. He'll bounce back from this. I mean, I'm gonna hurt him. I'm gonna put him away, but it's not impossible to come back from an ass kicking.
Do you feel 1 or 2 wins, given your history with DJ, you're right back in there?
I do. I not one. I wouldn't deserve it. I'm not Dan
Okay.
Henderson. Dan deserves a title shot because it's Dan, and Dan needs to, walk off into the sunset and hopefully with a title. Nothing against Michael Bisping, but who doesn't want to see Dan knock him out again? So, yeah, I think that this fight, I'm not going to ask for a title shot, but I'll ask to earn it. I'll ask, give me maybe Wilson. DJ will be hurt, and then he has has to fight the winner of the show.
What do you think of that, by the way?
It's silly.
Why?
Because you're asking a lot. I mean, even of the biggest names on the show, Damasio Page, who's a badass, Tim Elliott, who's another badass, but it's still asking a lot.
Is it deserved, though? These guys don't win a UFC fight. They're fighting against other guys not in the UFC, and they get a title shot.
It's not deserved, but it's television, man. It's content, and DJ's walked through everybody else.
Yeah.
He needs to fight, so I guess. I mean, whatever. I think it's stupid,
Okay.
but it's not my business,
Right.
So whatever. I think that if I would love to fight Wilson because I've already fought Joe and I fought Formiga. So who else is top in the class?
I'm liking Louis Smolka lately. He's looking very good.
Yeah, I love Lewis. He's a friend of mine, and he's a stud. He's really turned it up lately.
Yeah.
So anyone that'll get me closer to a title shot, whether it's top 10, obviously. I'd rather fight top 5.
Yeah.
I'd rather. I'm really liking the Wilson fight after this. So that maybe that if I could fight Wilson, I get out of this healthy, and fight him shortly after. And then I'll start my campaign. Once I beat him, obviously you have to focus on Justin, but I'm able to look into the future and compartmentalize things because I'm not going to forget that I'm gonna have to fight a young guy like this. But yeah, that's a good idea. I literally just have formulated this in the last 10 minutes. So.
Okay. Well, it is great to see you back.
Thank you very
It really is. I look forward to a great fight, and it's always good to see you
Good to
here.
see you back, man.
Oh, thank you. I
No,
appreciate it.
I was there, and I had no idea what was going on. But yeah, it was
We're both back.
yeah, we're both back.
All
So
right.
good to have us back.
Thank you, Ian.
Thank you.